it out.
Better?
YouTube and Google never want to cooperate on the days that we're doing things.
That's all right.
I couldn't even get on through the link through Google today. I'm on Internet Explorer.
Which sucks. Okay. My channel. And a Hangout takes so much of my upload and my download speed that it slows down everything else on my computer. Cool. Live now. Just get this link right here.
Okay.
I just sent it.
Yeah, I got it. I'm putting it on the page now.
All right, we'll give everybody just a second.
All right, it's up.
We'll start in about 30 seconds, give people a chance to click in.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Coming to you live from Conroe, Texas, it's Reality Rules with Andrew Gibson and producer Mama S. What's going on, guys? How are you? Coming here to you for episode 4 of Survivor Reelfoot. Probably one of my favorite strategical episodes this far, but it brings us our latest cast off, unfortunately, Trevor. Welcome, Trevor. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good.
Good. Well, man, I'm sorry to see you go. I've known you for a while, and I was cheering for you from the beginning. But let's start this off. Tell us a little bit about who you are outside of Survivor Reelfoot. Who is Trevor?
Okay, I think that I'm like the comedic relief of my friends, of my circle of friends. So I like to have a good time, I like to have fun. I like to do things that are adventurous. I mean, that's why I did the whole Survivor thing, anyways. I like to, like you saw in the show, I like to chase tornadoes. I like to chase adrenaline. Right now, I'm training to be a pro wrestler. So anything that's adventurous, that's new, fun, I like to do. So I just like I'm outgoing and fun. That's the embodiment of me.
And you're married, right?
Yeah, that too. I'm glad you reminded me of that.
And you have a kid, correct?
I have more than one. Yes.
You have more than one. Wow, awesome, awesome.
I have four. Three that are mine, one that's mine through marriage, and then there might be some more out there. I don't know.
So at least there might be people that after watching this video are calling you saying, "Hey, I think you're my dad."
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. All right, well, let's get into this. So from the beginning of the game, I've known you for a while. You've been playing online reality games for how long?
Since 2010, so 5. I didn't play it all this year yet, so 5 years.
But you've been playing off and on for about 5 years. So what made you decide, okay, let's get out of this online format and let's bring this to a real format, a live format game?
Well, if you're a fan of Survivor, like all of us, who wouldn't want to play the real thing? And so I was like, I got to find my odds of getting on the real thing at this point, or anybody's odds are getting in are slim to none. So I was like, I got to find the next best thing. And I know Amos from another series that I played with him in, and this was the next best thing. And so I was like, this is the closest thing I'm going to get to living out this dream. So that's why I did this.
Do you think that part of the reason you came in, because you came in pretty confident. I mean, from like episode 1, you were pretty like, okay, I know this game, I know what I'm doing, I'm excited, I'm going to rock this. Do you think that was kind of because you have had success in the online format?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're onto that, because it doesn't translate, and I learned that now, but I didn't know that back, on the show. But I thought that bringing in the same skill set, well, that's probably not the best approach.
And so that's my next question. What's like the main, besides obviously the fact that it's live? Why does it? How does it? What are the main differences besides being there between like an online gameplay and like an in-person gameplay?
Okay, so like when you're playing online, you don't see different groups of people like walking off and having conversation, and when you see that, it throws you. You're like wondering, what are they talking about? Are they talking about me? Are they looking for an idol? What are they doing? And you don't get that in the online stuff. So I would see people wander off, and who knows what they're talking about? They could have been talking about men or something. And I was thinking, are they talking about me? Are they wanting to vote me out? Like I was paranoia. So paranoia goes up in a whole nother level. And
So
plus,
yeah.
I had to drive a long way to get there, and I didn't want to blow my, I didn't want to waste the time that it took for me to get there. So a lot of things went through, and I starved for like 3 days straight because we didn't get any food or nothing. So I was very hungry.
Okay, the next question is from actually somebody that sent this in. It's from Jeremy, the guy that you tried to get voted out.
Okay.
And his question that he just sent us on our Facebook is, how does it feel to not succeed on taking out the fans' favorite though season and failed?
I didn't know that he was a fan favorite, but that's cool. Um, okay, I need to explain what happened there because I don't think the episode explained why I all of a sudden went after Jeremy. So I'm a pretty good person. I think that I'm good at reading people. And as I was having conversation with Maria and David, I could tell that they weren't open to the idea of getting rid of Ryan or Anna. And that's when I knew that I had to go. If it wasn't going to be one of them two, it's got to be me, Bailey, or Jeremy, right?
Right.
I mean, mathematically. Plus, I wanted to distance myself from that group. I wanted them to think that I was with them, even though I was never going to be with those two. I was going to be with the three guys. So at that point, I knew going after Ryan and Anna was a lost cause. For whatever reason, they were keeping them around. So I was like, okay, I've got to sacrifice one of them. And obviously, Jeremy was the lazier of the two, and Jeremy was kind of awkward, as you could see in the last two episodes. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna choose Jeremy. So so that's what I did. I was like, and I thought feeding them Jeremy would then at that point they'd trust me more. But they didn't trust me from the beginning, and I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but I look forward to finding that out.
And I think we'll get on to. I want to get into that a little more a little bit, but let's go back to the very beginning of the game. You're
Okay.
there, you're hyped, you're pumped, you're standing on the mats, you see your tribe. What are your immediate thoughts as you look at the Yuchi cheaters, as you were called tonight, tribe?
Okay, let's go before that because
Okay.
there's a storyline that happens before the game even starts. Okay, I show up. When this is some secret behind the scenes stuff that this is like casting stuff, right? That y'all are gonna hear about. So before the game starts, everybody shows up at Amos's house, and everyone meets and mingles and stuff. Well, I walk in the front door. I was like one of the last people to show up. Okay. I walk in the front door, and I recognize Bailey, and Bailey sees me. And he goes, "Trevor!" He runs up to me and he picks me up and gives me this big bear hug, and everyone's looking at us, staring at us, and he's got me in this bear hug and dancing around the living room. I can't believe it, we're meeting in person, because I played with him in an org before. And I was like, "What are you doing? No, no, you can't do this." Immediately going to place a target on our backs. So that's what happened day one. Okay, this is before I even said hi to any other players. Bailey and me had a big hug out love fest in the middle of everyone in the living room. And in particular, Maria was watching this. So I knew right then and there I was fucked if I was on a tribe with Maria. So sorry if I'm not supposed to cuss, but anyways.
No, you're good. We're late primetime YouTube. You're okay.
I was screwed. So then I had a conversation with Amos, and I said, I was like, do you guys have your tribes figured out? And he was like, I don't know, not really. I was like, well, maybe you shouldn't put us together since everybody just witnessed that. He was like, yeah, I won't do it. Well, then you see what happens the day we get our tribes, and I'm looking. And I was like, well, I'm screwed. I honestly thought that. I thought from the beginning that I was screwed because of that. And Maria, it looks like Maria, like in that first episode, she's like, I think those guys are together. Well, of course she thinks that. She saw us hug it out. So that's why I was screwed I feel like I was at a disadvantage because of that. So that's what I felt like whenever I looked at my tribe. I was like, I'm screwed.
And I'm going out of order of my questions, but that's okay here because that brings up another good point. So to the same aspect, you did have Daniel and David. Did you know that they were a item? Did you know they were together? Was this something you were aware of before this game started?
Well, there were a couple of people that knew each other going into the game. Me and Bailey, which everybody knew because of the, like I just told you.
He hugged it out.
Chantel and Lacey knew each other, but he did the smart thing there. He split those two up, okay? Because everybody knew it because they drove up in a car together. They walked out. They all said, "Hey, we're friends. We work together," and we all shook their hands. Blah blah blah. Then the very last two people to arrive were David and Daniel, and they were very smart. They like went their separate ways and they mingled with everybody, but they didn't. They never. I was like, do they know each other? I even said to Daniel, one of the two guys, I don't even remember their names anymore. I said, do you know the guy that you came in with? He's like, no, I don't know him. I don't know him. So everybody entered the game. Listen, nobody in this game knew that those two were together. Nobody. So I feel this way that that's an unfair disadvantage. It's obviously an unfair disadvantage because and I don't know. I got to tell you this one little thing, this little tidbit. When I got voted off, I left and I went home. So I don't know what happens after I get voted out.
Oh, okay, good.
Now from this point forward, I get to see everybody like everybody else. But
did that happen? Let's start with, did that happen because you were just pissed, or did it happen because you just wanted to go home to your family?
Okay, a little bit of that, but not so much. The day I got voted out, I was starving. I went and I ate and binge ate, and I got so sick that I was like, I gotta go home because I'm like I don't like being sick and away from home.
Right.
So I gotta go home, and so I went home and like threw up, whatever, the whole ride home, whatever. Anyways, so if you're starving and then you try to do that, it's bad. Don't do that. But anyways, so I don't know what happens, but I just want to say this right now. If Daniel and David both make the merge, and because they're together, they can like work their way to. I think it's going to be. I'm interested to see it play out. If they both make it to the end, I'm going to be very disappointed with this little twist here. If everybody else finds it out and kind of weeds them out of the game, I would be pleased with that.
And Jessica found it out tonight.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen the entire episode.
In tonight's episode, Jessica asks Daniel, "Are you with David? Or do you know David?" She put it together in her head somehow and brought it up to Daniel tonight on the episode. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know, so I'm excited to see it play out myself.
Cool. We've got more questions from viewers, which is always fun. Wade wants to know how long were you, and we only see 30 minutes of what y'all are out there the whole time. How long were you looking for the idol? Because everybody was like positive that you had the hidden immunity idol. So were you like obviously looking for it to make it think that, or were they just thinking it because you were a smart player? Why was everybody so content that you had the idol?
That's something that I wonder myself. I don't know why everybody thought that I had it, but I'd watched the first 3 episodes completely in like half of today's, and I was like, wow, I mean, I'm flattered that everybody thinks I'm such a great player and that they think I have the idol and all of this. I had no freaking clue where that idol was. I did look, and me and Jeremy and Bailey would try to look, and then when Anna or Ryan would try to look, I would be like, okay, watch them, because if they go and they find it, then so I tried to find it, but I had no clue where that thing was, and I don't even know. I still don't know what it looks like, so I don't know.
We got a good comment. Brandon Billy said, "Haha, Trevor really did get screwed. He's pretty awesome, and these people missed out on that." So you got some fans out there.
Thank you, Brandon. I love you, and I met Brandon in person. Let me grab my charger real quick, or this thing's gonna die in our call.
All right, cool.
Bye.
So if you're just now tuning in and you're there, you can message Susan Camosa on Facebook, and she will answer all your questions, or you can comment on this link if you have any questions for Trevor, and we will definitely get those asked. They're getting sent to me, and we'll get those asked. So if you have any questions, you can ask on Facebook on the comments, or you can message Susan on Facebook also, and she'll get your questions to me. We'll also take this second. I do want to plug. I was asked to plug a game tonight. If you're looking for a game to play, we've got 2 coming up that we want to plug tonight. Susan is actually hosting King James Cody Big Brother Casino. Applications are open for that. Look at that for Big Brother Casino. And Ryan Barker and Christina are also hosting Big Brother. What are they calling that? Big Brother. Oh, I forget the name. Big Brother Real or something like that. Look it up for
Real
Ryan
deal.
Barker. Real Deal Big Brother. Look that up on Facebook. Also, they're looking for players. Looks like a cool game. They're going to try to bring in some real things from Big Brother. So, that. All right, Trevor is back. Another question from online. Brandon Billy, a legit question. Were you surprised to see all the negative things people were saying about you so early before your boot?
I don't know. I kind of was because I didn't a lot of that no one said that stuff to my face. So I don't know where it came from. I really don't know. Like I guess you know what I think it was when I came into the game, I was trying to play the game like the social game,
Uh-huh.
and I never really took the time to bond with people. Like I never was like, hey, you know, how you have kids? Where do you work? You know, I just was like, hey, you want to be in alliance? You know, and
It's kind of like just happened in Cambodia Real Survivor. I mean, it's that old school gameplay versus that new school gameplay of the making the relationship versus making the gameplay.
yeah, you know the Spencer story arc this season where
Hmm.
his first time he was too strategic, and this his second time he was like, I'm going to be more social. If I had
Absolutely.
a second chance, I'd be more social, but I didn't. We only had 6 days. I was like, I can't. I have to make a move. I got to try to make an alliance.
It's not like you're out there for 39 days and you have as much time to make those bonds, and it's all crammed in. It's not 1 week and 3 days, so you've got shorter time, but that is important because you want them to trust you, so you need that social relationship for that to happen. Okay, let's go back a little bit more to the Bailey. So you and Bailey are obviously tight. You get proven because Bailey screws that up, and you pay the consequence for it. Thank you, Bailey. But so you go into the tribe with him, you start, and y'all don't try to hide that. Like, even after this whole thing has happened, it's very obvious from episode 1 that it's you, Bailey, and Jeremy.
Yeah.
And you don't hide that at all. Why do you do that? Because, first of all, I mean, you know this game, so you know that 3 is not a majority.
Yeah. Well,
And,
okay. When I came into the game, I approached it. Did it freeze?
no, you're still here.
When I came into the game, I approached it like one would the real game. So I looked at my tribe and I said, okay, well, it's clear. And anybody looking at the tribe is going to say Ryan, Anna, and Lacey are weaker. And you
Right.
have to win challenges to win the game. So I tried to distance myself from Jeremy. They didn't put a lot of this in there, probably because I didn't last very long, but I tried to distance myself from Bailey and Jeremy. So I went to Marie and Dave and said, I want to be in a clique with you guys. I want to be us three. And they were like, well, we need five because five would be the majority on a tribe. And I said, well, who do you want to use? And they were like, I don't know. I said, well, what about these two guys over here? Because I was like, and my reasoning was Anna and Lacey and Ryan, they're weaker. They're if we might lose challenges. And I thought that was a pretty like common sense approach. But I think they looked at it more as like, oh, if we go with them, then those three will have the majority over us too. And then I think that's what they thought. So
And fair enough. Another question from a viewer, Jorge, who's one of the editors and production on this staff, said that a behind-the-scenes moment, Lacey mentioned in an unaired confessional that she got along with you. So do you think that targeting those three and not connecting with Lacey was a missed opportunity where you could have befriended them instead and found your way in through Lacey?
no, I don't think so because we saw what happened with Lacey. She quit the game, so I think she would have done that even if I would have worked with her. And plus, somebody has to go. Somebody has to go. So, like in episode 1 or 2, I think it was 2, where I was like, hey, in case we lose, we have to have some sort of plan in place. I didn't think that was like overly like just strategic. I thought that was like, hey, just in case we lose, shouldn't we have somebody in mind? I thought that was like a common sense thing, but they all thought, oh, whoa, this guy's playing so hard. I don't know. I don't get it. I still
So
kind
if Lacey doesn't quit, do you think your blindside happens in that
of, yeah.
tribal?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If she didn't want to quit, I would have gone that. I would have gone for second. Yeah.
Okay. So it was pretty much just delaying the inevitable at that point then.
I really thank her for that because it gave me extra life. Now back to something I said earlier about the whole boyfriends thing. I would have lots of conversations with David because I thought he was my in on this tribe. If I can get in with David, I could go far in this game. So I was always like talking like I would have lots of private strategic conversation with him, and I would say, that guy, that big guy in the other tribe, we've got to get him out. We've got to get that guy out. He's your biggest threat in this game. If we don't, as soon as we merge, if there's a swap, I'm taking that guy out myself. If I swap and I'm the only one over there, that I'll make it my mission to get that guy out. And I'm talking to him about voting out his boyfriend. So he has no chance, David. No. So in this episode, he's like, I'm so happy to see you go. Sorry to see you go. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. Well, of course he's not. I'm targeting his boyfriend. So I think that they had an unfair advantage. I will say that, all the way throughout this whole course of this game. I'm so interested to see what happens. If they make it to the final two, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
So another question that we have from the viewers, I'm not getting to many of mine because there's so many other questions, but that's great. Do you think you would have done better if you were on the Chiaha tribe?
Oh, I would have loved that. When he was calling the names, well, as soon as he called Bailey on the blue mat, I was like, oh, well, now I know I'm going to be in Orange because I had this conversation with Amos the day before. I told him that me and him had a big love fest in the middle of the cast. I was like, Amos is going to put me on the Orange tribe. So I was getting ready. I was like, all right, he was calling last name because I think I was the last one with blue too. Yeah, I was. And so I was like, all right, I'm getting ready to go. And then he says, like, someone's for the Orange. I was like, oh, he put me on the blue tribe? And I think that I would have done it really, really well. I would have worked with Michael. I would have worked with Nathan. I would have worked with the guy that got Coleman. I would have worked with him. I would have gone after Daniel. Sorry, that's obvious. Who like that's the biggest threat on that tribe. You see what's happening. I fear that this season is going to get boring and predictable. That's my fear.
Question from Michael. When I met you pregame, we were sizing each other up like lions. I felt we would either clash or be the best of allies. What was your thought process when you met me pregame? Would I have been included in a bros alliance at the merge?
When I met Michael, I was like, he has this like mystique about him, like his look and the way he talks and acts and stuff. I thought he was the coolest dude there. And I was like, I want to work with this guy. I think we could have fun in this game. And then it didn't pan out. And if it would have worked out, I think that we could have done. I mean, we could have done something good in this game. So if anybody, like, for me, I kind of compare myself to him just from watching how he plays on the
Yeah, I see that.
I relate to him a lot.
Did you? We don't see a whole lot. For me, did you and David really combat for leadership among the tribe?
No, not at all. I was the buddy to David. I wanted to be his sidekick. I wanted to be his Robin. I was trying to hype him up to be the Batman. I was like, dude, you're the big man. I was like, you got to be the only one left in this game once we get Daniel out of here, man. We're gonna do this. I was trying to hype him up, build him up. I never tried to fight for leadership.
So let's talk about this challenge. You screwed up pretty bad on this challenge. What was so hard with getting the balls in the basket?
I don't know why that was so difficult, but when it happened, I knew that I was like, I wonder what's going to happen now. They have a reason to vote me off, but I didn't know if they would actually, use that. So I don't know. I don't know how I felt. I felt really uncomfortable during the challenge. I was like, I'm just fucking this whole thing up. And then afterwards, I started talking to people. I was like, nah, you're cool, everybody. And that should have been, now that I think about it, that should have been assigned to me. But I couldn't do it, man. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like it just wasn't the ball. They were really good at things with balls, like Bailey said. That's their bread and butter.
So talk us through, because we don't really get a whole lot. We just at the end see Jessica start saying they cheated. What happened there? Are they saying you cheated because of Bailey falling off and throwing it at the same time? What was the cheating conspiracy here?
I think that was it. That was the first thing. But in a previous challenge, in the last episode, the one where we're pushing the people off the mat with the
Yes.
Okay, so at the beginning of the challenge, Amos says, Yuchi, you have an extra tribe member. You got to sit somebody out. And then Ryan says, I'll sit out. Well, Ryan sat out at the challenge before, and you can't, in Survivor, like the show, you can't sit out people, the same person, in back-to-back challenges. So Amos didn't catch it during the challenge, but after we had already won, we were celebrating. Jessica's like thinking, like, wait a minute. Ryan wasn't supposed to sit out in this challenge. They cheated. And then Amos was like, well, I didn't think about it. It's on me. And, I should have thought about that. And he's like, but it's already done. I'm not going to play the whole challenge again. And she's like, they cheated. Ryan can't sit out, back-to-back challenges or whatever. So she just labeled us as cheaters. because of
But,
that.
and in the same context, if you were in her shoes, you probably would have done the same thing.
I think I would have caught it before the challenge started, though. I don't think I would have waited till afterward, because I think they would have won if he would have played, because Ryan
Yeah,
wasn't
probably.
gonna beat anybody in that.
So after the challenge, we get back, and you kind of touched on this a little bit, but so the main reasoning, you have this alliance of three, and we see it edited as Jeremy starts rubbing people the wrong way because of his comments,
Mhm.
and because of the things he started saying about Bailey and in that aspect, which Jeremy's fun to watch, but he's not the most social inept person. That's obvious, and I'll tell him that when he gets on. I'm not talking about him behind his back. But what was your thought process from the point of you coming back and you not saying, okay, we're not going to vote Ryan and Anna anymore, we're going to vote Jeremy? I mean, because long term, that doesn't help you very much because it brings you from 3 to 2. So are you just thinking, I've just got to survive this vote? I'm not worried about what happens next round because I'm worried about what next round when it gets here. Why Jeremy?
So this is my thought process. I'm in my mind. I think I have 5 people in my group. I'm in the middle of my two bros, and then Marie and David. And I want to distance myself from them. So, and I have already tried to feel them out. I sent out feelers. Hey, you want to do Ryan? Do you want to do Anna tonight? And like they shut it down. Like you saw David say, "Oh, I'd rather do Ryan." Well, I already knew it was bullshit. Like I'm pretty good at reading people. Maria especially was really I could read her rather easily, and so I could tell that they were shutting that down. So I was like, I've got to go a different direction here. So I was like, well, if I give up Jeremy, then they would think maybe that I'm with them more, and then I could maybe ride those. I was just trying to get to the merge. Really, I wasn't going to go very far with those. Now I love Bailey. I wanted to go far with Bailey. I would love to have gone all the way to the end with Bailey. But it just didn't work out, and so that was my logic. I was trying to distance myself, and I really saw that I was getting nowhere with Ryan and Anna. I was kind of chasing the wind, and they weren't biting. So I was like, I got to go a different direction here.
See, and
Oh,
at that point, Andrew and I, as orgers, were asking why you weren't thinking numbers. Why not go to Ryan and Abby and Jeremy and say, hey, let's split up Maria and Dan, because they're so close. You see them connecting. You know that that's a great 2 power right there. Why not go to your numbers and split that?
And
Why give up Jeremy?
the reason why, to answer that question, is because David is strong and Maria is strong. Maria is stronger than Jeremy. So I think Maria is stronger intelligent wise and physical. And so I put her on this that tier. I want to play strategic, but I also want to play smart. I
Right.
don't want to get lose another challenge. So that's why I didn't do that.
So you looked really shocked at Tribal. Did you walk into that Tribal, and was there any thought in your head that you were going home?
Okay, I'm really excited to reveal this. So I'm a very objective person. I like look around at everything and I think, how can I use this to my advantage? What can I do? How can I use these different things? Not just the people, but the objects and the things, right? So when I went up to vote, I wrote the person's name down. I took the cap off, and when I went to put it in, guess what I did? I looked into the jar, and I saw my name on the top paper. So I knew I had at least one vote. So I knew I was being lied to. So I was like, well, if one person voted for me, and the last person who voted right before me was Bailey, it wasn't Bailey's vote, so I don't know how that one got on top, but whatever. I saw Trevor, so I thought, well, fuck, Bailey just voted for me. So if Bailey's voting for me, I'm done. I'm toast. So I was done. I knew I was done. I was getting ready to go. I was just thinking, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna be cool about it? Or am I gonna cuss people out? How am I gonna be? So then he says my name, and I'm like, all right, what? Good luck, guys. And then even when you see my exit interview, I'm like, I don't know why they voted for me. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. But it is what it is, and that's that. But I knew it was coming. I didn't know when I walked in. As soon as I went to throw my vote in the thing, I looked down, I saw my name. I said, uh-oh, they got me. So
Oh, let me read this question real quick. Okay, yeah, we'll let that one go. That's a question that might reveal things in the future, so we'll let that one question
Yeah,
slide.
but we have to put that one to the side.
Yeah, we'll put that one to the side for later. Okay. So you left, you're done, you're voted out. Who did you expect to go next when you were walking out?
You mean like who did I think would be voted out of my tribe?
Who did you think from your tribe would be the next to go?
Bailey.
Why do you think, and this is going backwards a little bit, why do you think that they didn't come to Jeremy? Do you think that they were afraid he would reveal it to you and that would give you, and they didn't need his number? I mean, why do you think that they don't say, hey, we're blindsiding Trevor, are you in?
Because I think that they wouldn't. Jeremy's not like, I don't know, he's not all there to me, and I think they knew that. They're smart, and I don't think they wanted to risk their blind side. I think they were so excited about this blind, you could taste it, and they wanted to pull it off, and I think they might have risked that if they would have came to him about voting for me.
So you left, you thought Bailey would be the next to go. Who did you think when you were walking out of that tribe, driving home, eating a hamburger, who did you think would be the winner?
I thought that David or Daniel's going to win. I still believe that David or Daniel's going to win the game. Again, I know I'm not revealing anything. I feel that way. But who do I want to win? I don't think Bailey has a chance because of what you revealed, or what just happened. He didn't get included in that vote. Jeremy has no chance. So I want one of my blue people to win. So I'm rooting for Maria. I really want Maria to go to the end when I like Maria, even though she did me dirty. I like her. I think she has the heart of somebody who can win the game, and I like her. And she has I like what she brings to the game.
And she's from the polls that we posted, Maria's one of the favorites. Maria's one that the viewers have loved the most. All right, let's wrap this sucker up. I've got a one-word game, so I've got one word that I'm sure you've seen in some of my interviews. You tell me the first thing that comes to mind when I say the name or the person.
Okay.
Here we go. Rice.
Disgusting.
Bailey.
Love.
Tennessee.
Country music.
Maria.
Energetic.
Jeremy.
Lazy.
Ryan.
Weird.
Anna.
Funny.
David.
Buff.
Camping.
No thanks.
Last one. Lacrosse sticks.
Fuck you.
All right, Trevor. Anything else you want to say? Any parting final words?
I know I have very few fans or people that believed in me. Thank you to those people that I can probably count on one hand. And thanks for everyone who watched. And also, even though I have no bitter feelings, I like everybody that I met. I hope we can all be friends. And I hope to see everybody again at some point in the future.
Speaking of that, at the end of the season, we will have a reunion episode where we're going to bring everybody on to the Google Hangout. We're trying to figure it out. We might be doing two, like one with some pre-merge people and then bringing some over to because we can only have 10 on a Hangout. But we will hopefully have you back at the end of the season to do that because it would be fun to get you. And maybe even when Bailey gets voted out and we do Bailey's interview, it would be fun to bring you on for Bailey's interview.
Of course.
So, awesome. Well, thanks for being here, Trevor. Guys, don't forget next week, Monday, 7 o'clock, Survivor Reelfoot Season 5. It is the mid-season finale. You do not want to miss it. He said there's a twist. Me and Susan know what the twist is. We're not going to reveal it, but you do not want to miss next week's episode. So, catch you back next time, and we will have the interview afterwards. So, thanks, Trevor. Thanks, everybody. As always, stay real, stay reality, and try not to get voted out.